In Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, Roxas was added to the game as a boss that you fight as Sora, both in the story and as a data fight in the Garden of Assemblage. During the story, you fight him during the part of the game where you previously saw a fight cutscene between him and Sora. Before, where this was only a cutscene, there is now a battle with him as well. His data version can be accessed in the Garden of Assemblage, the area where you can refight all 13 members of the organization in extremely difficult versions of their original fights. In this guide, I will mainly be giving a tutorial on how to defeat the data version of Roxas. However, you can take the tips I give in this guide to help with the story battle as well, as he does the same moves, but he is just much less difficult. Also, please note that this is not a level 1 guide at heart. However, if you are playing on level 1, the tips I give in this guide can help you with defeating Roxas anyway in areas that you may be having trouble. Just note that a few of the tips I give will be aimed towards those who have second chance and once more, so that can help people who are struggling with getting out of tough situations. Now, I will go over the items, equipment, and abilities I would recommend you to use during the fight with Roxas. Note that since this is mostly a data guide, that you may not have some of these items or abilities available during the story mode fight. Firstly, I'm going to recommend the Keyblade, the Decisive Pumpkin. This Keyblade's combo boost ability is amazing for dealing high finisher damage with ground combos, which you'll be doing a lot of in this battle. Another Keyblade I would recommend is the Ultima Weapon. If you do use magic a lot, rely on Reflect, or tend to use Limit Form with Ars Arcanum a lot, which I will show to be a good tactic in this fight if you choose to do so, then Ultima Weapon is a great Keyblade as well. In terms of items, ethers, elixirs, and anything that can restore your magic to allow you to cure or restore MP is extremely helpful in this fight. Elixirs are always preferred as they completely restore your MP gauge and also fully heal you. Required abilities that I would say you absolutely need 100% for this fight are Dodge Roll, since you will need to use Dodge Roll a lot, Glide, which is essential to dodge Roxas's DM or Desperation move, Quick Run, as this can be helpful during the fight as well in certain parts, and as well as Aerial Dodge and High Jump, since you don't really need them as much, but you should have them anyway if you got through the Caverns of Remembrance. And finally, you should always have guard on. Now I will give a list of abilities that I would recommend but aren't necessarily required for the fight. However, this tutorial is for the most part centered around these abilities, so Roxas's reactions to your attacks may vary based on the attacking abilities you have equipped, but his attacks and movements should generally be the same regardless, only the retaliations he does after your combos may differ depending on how you attack him. The abilities I actually recommend are 2 combo pluses, 1 finishing plus, Guard Break, Explosion, Flash Step, Slide Dash, Slap Shot, Combo Boost, and this is very optional to you, but Auto Limit. Dodge Slash is decent, but it can make combos slower and more unreliable if you choose to use it. I also recommend keeping Reflect on a shortcut at all times. To describe the fight, I will be breaking the tutorial down into 3 main segments. First, parts of the fight, then specific moves that Roxas does, and finally extra tips, tactics, and strats you could do to make fighting Roxas easier. At the start of the fight, Roxas will always begin by doing a round slash. This can easily be guarded, dodged, or reflected. Guarding is generally the most reliable method of defending yourself from this, as you can freely attack him after blocking to get in a combo. Dodging is the same, but it can be possible to mistime the dodge. Reflecting is okay as well, as he will also take reflect damage, but if you try to combo him after, he may retaliate in the middle of your combo, meaning he will be more unpredictable. If unsure, always guard to start off the battle. You can go about attacking him in a few ways. After countering him, you can either combo him with a guard break finisher and back away, or also combo to finish with a guard break and an explosion. The second method is the one I like to do. This method will make Roxas retaliate, so after the explosion ends, Roxas will immediately do a spinning jump attack, or occasionally an attack where he dashes at you with spinning blades. You need to be ready for this. The jump attack can easily be dodge rolled to avoid, while the spinning blades are a bit harder to anticipate and defend yourself against. I'll get more in depth on both of these moves later. If you decide to finish off Roxas with your combo and a guard break and leave out the explosion, this is a very good way to get out of the way in time to get ready for Roxas's next attack without him retaliating. After completing your attack, Roxas will always dash around extremely quickly. He can be very unpredictable, and most of his moves can be reacted to in time to counter him, but often he will catch you off guard. I will get into specific attacks you should watch out for later in the tutorial. After losing 4 bars of health, Roxas will enter his second phase. At this point, all of Roxas's attacks will be accompanied by multiple pillars of light. This will make his attacks even harder to avoid and counter. Usually, as soon as Roxas enters his second phase, he will activate his DM, short for desperation move. A boss's desperation move is their most powerful attack. Thankfully, Roxas' DM is very easy to avoid. Roxas will dash to the center of the arena, become invincible, and surround himself with low pillars of light in a small circle. If you enter this circle around Roxas, you will take damage. Whenever you see Roxas go to the center and surround himself in these pillars, make your way to the outside of the arena. Roxas will begin to rise up and cover the arena in a bright, cloudy background. At this point, you should begin to glide around the outside of the arena. Roxas will begin to shoot multiple orbs of light, and once you are hit by these orbs of light, it is very difficult to stop being hit by them. If you are at level 1, being hit by one of them will pretty much equal death. As long as you continue endlessly gliding around until Roxas stops shooting them, you should be safe from ever being hit by the orbs. If timed properly, it can also be dodged with a combination of quick runs and dodge rolls, but it is very difficult to pull this off. If you are in limit form, dodge roll max should be able to let you dodge the orbs with no problem. For the rest of the fight, Roxas will for the most part continue the same patterns of attacking. All of his attacks will have pillars, and one or two of his moves will vary slightly. However, the fight for the most part stays the same. That doesn't mean it'll be easy for the rest of the fight though. Roxas will be always keeping you on your toes, and while all of his moves can be reacted to in time to defend yourself against them, he is still very fast and his moves will be difficult to stay on top of if you are not careful. Now, I will discuss all of Roxas' attacks individually. The first of his moves is his round slash. He starts off the battle with this attack every time. It is probably his easiest countered ability if approached properly. He is also left vulnerable every time he completes the attack, so it is always worth approaching him when you see him winding the attack up. At the start of the battle, you can easily guard it and lead it into an attack. However, it is a bit more difficult to counter during the battle. It's easy to tell when he will start the attack. He will wind up his Keyblade and stand still for a second. At this point, you will want to be standing somewhere at just an average distance away from him. The optimal distance is a distance where you are barely out of reach of his spinning blades. This may be hard to judge at first, but you should become more used to judging this distance soon after you see it a few times in battle. As soon as Roxas attacks, you will want to dodge roll towards him. Timing the roll is also a matter of judgment. There is a short period of time when you could dodge roll towards him to attack it. As soon as you complete the roll, you can begin a combo. During Roxas' second phase, this attack will have the pillars of light circling around it. If you follow the same steps, the pillars shouldn't be getting in the way at all since you'll be dodge rolling anyway. If you are still not used to the timing of this attack, it is best you just avoid it rather than attempting to approach Roxas as he performs it. Note that you will still have to watch out for the pillars of light anyway, even if you stay away from Roxas during this attack during the second phase. Roxas' ground combo can be troublesome if you're not ready for it, or if you don't set up for it properly, but it's fairly easy to avoid it and get an easy counter off of it if you go about it the right way. If you see Roxas dashing at you, get ready for him to possibly do a ground combo. It is a good idea to always quick run away from Roxas if he gets close to you. Note that he may be doing any of his other moves if he dashes close to you as well. After dashing away, if you see him wind his Keyblades behind his back and begin attacking quickly, you need to be ready to avoid him. He will constantly be closing distance on you as he performs the combo. If you are in the first phase, every one of these attacks can be guarded. A safer method is dodge rolling in a sideways, circle-like manner around him as he comes close to you with his combo. At a point in his combo, he will dash backwards. At this point, you need to be ready to counter him. As he winds up, keep a fair distance from him and block. If timed right, he should be staggered and open to attack. If you are unsure about the timing, reflecting or dodge rolling out of the way can also be good ways to avoid this attack. During his second phase, every hit in this combo will have pillars of light coming from them, and even if you are guarding these, they may hit you. For this reason, it is always safer to dodge roll or quick run around as he performs the combo instead of attempting to guard. His final dash will also have pillars of light, however they emit out towards the sides, so if you guard Roxas' dash, you should be safe from being hit by the pillars of light. Note, however, that at certain distances, the pillar of light have hit me in the past as I guarded, so during the second phase it is always a good idea to keep an average distance from Roxas when guarding the dash and the combo, not too far and not too close. If you get too far away from Roxas, he will either dash towards you or do this next attack. This is probably the easiest attack to deal with out of all of Roxas' moves. In the first phase, the attack can be guarded, dodge rolled, reflected, or quick run to avoid. It is very easy to manage this attack. In the second phase, a few pillars of light will line the sides of Roxas as he jumps at you, but these can also be easily guarded or rolled out of the way to avoid. Guarding is much less reliable, however, as it is still possible to be hit by the pillars of light even if you are guarding Roxas' attack. For the most part, this is also Roxas' retaliation move for almost every time you finish a combo, off of him if you hit his revenge value, which is the point when a boss will instantly attack you no matter what after you deal enough damage to them. Completing an attack on Roxas with only one finisher will not always hit this revenge value, but if Reflect was used to lead up to your attack, it can be hard to judge when his revenge value may be hit. This is probably Roxas' most deadly attack. It is extremely hard to anticipate and very hard to counter. At random times, Roxas may fly towards you at extremely quick speeds and instantly attack you with 2 spinning Keyblades. He will attack with these Keyblades for multiple rounds, and they do crazy damage. Worst of all, they sometimes don't activate a combo hit on you, so they will often kill you instantly even if you have second chance and once more. If you see this attack coming, it is probably possible to guard it, but it will be extremely hard to anticipate. Note that if guarding this attack is a possibility, you will need to guard for multiple rounds. If you can see this attack coming, the best way to defend yourself would probably be to reflect it. During the second phase, pillars of light are present during the attack, but the spinning Keyblades are a much bigger problem than the pillars. Towards the ends of Roxas' health bar, this attack seems to have many more rounds of Keyblade attacks as part of it, making it much more difficult to manage. The best way I've been able to survive the attack is by entering limit form as I'm being hit, and activate an Ars Arcanum if I manage to touch the ground during the attack. This tactic is actually very good for multiple attacks of this fight, but it's most useful here I find. Note that instead of doing a spinning air attack, Roxas may do this attack as a revenge instead, but it's not quite as common. This attack is definitely the coolest attack Roxas has, albeit a very hard one to deal with. This attack can potentially change the entire fight. At a seemingly random time during the fight, Roxas may possibly activate this attack. Roxas will dash at you, and it may seem like he's about to do a normal attack, but this different attack may appear instead. It will activate a QuickTime event, where you will need to select the right option from the command menu in time. You will need to react very quick to this in order to pull it off. A good way to hit the right option in the command menu in time is to pause buffer, which is pausing the game repeatedly, and when the option appears after multiple pauses, unpause the game and quickly go to the command. This will help if your reaction time isn't the greatest and you need some help spotting the command in time. If you pull off the command properly, you will gain Roxas' 2 Keyblades. This will make you extremely powerful and cause the 2 Keyblades to do massive amounts of damage when doing combos with them. However, Roxas will become a much bigger nuisance at this time as well. He will endlessly summon pillars of light that attack you. The best way to avoid them and to get Roxas is to wait for him to summon a group of pillars, and as they close in on you, dodge roll away towards Roxas and attempt to land a combo on him. As long as you hit him, you will always be able to get a full combo on him when you have the 2 Keyblades. There's no way he can block or avoid it. It is still possible to get hit by lingering pillars when you're attacking him though. At some point, if you're not looping him, Roxas will eventually try to steal the Keyblades from you. Another QuickTime event will appear, and hitting triangle at this time will trigger reversal. If you do not trigger reversal at this time, Roxas will do a lot of damage to you. No matter if you hit reversal or not, Roxas will always take the Keyblades back at this time, and the battle will go back to normal, with Roxas using his normal attacks. Now, I will get into some of the things you can do if you get into trouble during the fight, or some strats you can use to make the fight easier. If you are ever staggered by one of Roxas' attacks, it is best to try and not do an aerial recovery, as doing so will put you at risk of being killed if you are on your last legs and at the will of second chance and once more. Instead, you should either wait until Roxas is done attacking and heal, or activate limit form. Waiting to heal can be risky since Roxas moves so fast, so activating limit form in a tight situation can and will save you a lot. Auto limit can be nice to have if you really want to be safe, so you can remember to activate limit when you are in a dangerous spot. But if you have good control over what you're doing, you really don't need it, and can just go down to the drive menu and activate the form. If Roxas is still attacking you after the form is activated, using Ars Arcanum will temporarily make you invincible, and even deal some damage to Roxas as he finishes his attack, while also flinching him. It's not a perfect method, and Roxas might still be able to mess up the Ars Arcanum, but it's still better than being caught with your pants down. This tactic is especially useful if being hit by Roxas' combo attack. If you are caught in his combo, have limit form ready, and as Roxas dashes at you to end his attack, activate limit where you would normally guard, and follow up with Ars Arcanum. This and the previous tip for limit form might seem cheap, but are very useful if you don't want to die. Limit form is also just a good way to handle the fight in general. Limit form's the Anasuken finisher does insane damage, and when using limit form to catch Roxas in a loop between normal finishers and Ars Arcanum, it is an extremely effective way to take him out. If you have Roxas' 2 Keyblades after completing the command to grab them, looping Roxas in limit form is insane, and if done right, will definitely get Roxas down to his last legs. It is possible to end the fight as soon as you get Roxas' 2 Keyblades. If you use R-Star command and don't do the finishing move in it, then hit Roxas once and instantly use an MP restoring item, then do another R-Star command and repeat this for the rest of the fight, Roxas is pretty much dead. This only really works when you have Roxas's 2 Keyblades though, so be aware of that. My next tip is that Reflect is actually not that good in this fight for the most part. For many fights in this game, spamming Reflect will do wonders, and even simple single uses of Reflect can come in handy. But when fighting Roxas, I find myself not using Reflects at all more often than not. Dodging and guarding are much more effective over relying on Reflect for this fight. If there is a situation where you like using Reflect in this fight, it may get the job done, but relying on it too much is a bad idea when fighting Roxas, in my opinion. As concluding tip, I'd just like to bring up level 1 one more time. Remember that the tips I give don't apply as much to critical level 1. If you are playing on level 1, you will most likely need to rely on a specific strat or looping method to take out Roxas. Simply going into the fight at level 1 and using these tips will not help you too much, unless you specifically pay attention to the segments where I mentioned limit form. If you are playing on level 1, I would suggest looking up a strat to take out Roxas in addition to the information I've provided in this guide. To conclude, Roxas is a tough boss, especially in his data form, but if you follow my tips, he shouldn't be that bad. He can be unpredictable and difficult to react to, but with practice and time, you should be able to take out Roxas without any problem. Certain things he does will always be a problem for you when fighting and trying to take him out, but if you pay attention to what you're doing and making sure you're not going about the fight the wrong way, the fight shouldn't be nearly as bad as if you went into the battle blind. And that's it for this video. If you thought this video was helpful or would like to support me in any way, subscribing and liking would be very much appreciated. And thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Unification out. Peace.